I was just thinking, when people talking about, maybe I should turn it around here. When people are talking about in regards of the beast, actually it doesn't turn around at this point at the screen I'm on, so I need to actually, anyway, so I had a pretty hot day, by the way, and actually these 2 last days has been pretty good, and I haven't really done much, anyway, at least not physical. So I'm thinking in regards to the beast of the number 666, which of course, as far as I can, as I understand it, I think I'm pretty sure on that, that of course the beast of the number 666 is the office and seat of the Antichrist, which is the Roman Emperor, which nowadays is, the so-called so-called Pope. I call him the Pope, that's just much more fitting. Who sets himself as the King of Kings and Lord of Lords over the world. The triune tyrant, he has 3 crowns, right? It's trying to be like God. Anyway, he's the Caesar, he's the emperor of this world, the Roman emperor, the Roman Caesar. Pontifex Maximus, the high priest of what's it called? High priest of paganism. Yeah, high priest of paganism. Any case, so I was just thinking in regards of John. In the days of John, we have, let me see if I can remember, 5 have been, 1 is, and 1 is to come, and yet there's the 8th, and the 8 is one of the 7, So the question is, well, I think the beast is already here, of course. It is in regards to this line of, the office of the papacy. But in any case, I think it was actually Alberto that talked about a dynasty. A dynasty. That might be a good word. I don't know. But anyway, he used the word of a dynasty of it all. In any case, but the thing is, if you want to make those heads, another thing than actually, Roman, I think you have a problem actually also going into the future, because 1 is to come, and then the 8 is one of these 7 heads. Now, not only do you have the problem, of course, the horse sitting on all 7 heads, but, how are you going to have something that comes in the future, and because it's Roman, we already have the Roman Empire, right? So what is going to come in the future other than the Roman Empire? And that's exactly what it is, It's but if you have all the other heads being like, Egypt or the Assyrians or the Greeks. Sorry. Let's have it. The Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, and so forward, and all that, and then you have, well, again, how do you make the woman sit on all these, the great city? How do you make her sit on all those, And then again, in regards to the future, Rome is what is going to be there. You have the gold, you have the silver, you have the bronze, and then you have the iron, and then you have the iron clay. We still have the Roman beast, because the Roman beast is still what is there. It's the little horn is coming forward. It's on the Roman beast, speaking great words and thinking to change times and laws. Who could that be beside Rome? Do you know of any other maniac institution that have, pretty much, fought to change times and laws? What is the calendar that we have? What calendar are we keeping? We're keeping the Julian, Gregorian, Roman, pagan, satanic sun calendar. Anyway. So who fixed that? Well, in regards of the Gregorian, that's in regards of the Pope. Yay! There we go. Oh, I can't remember the Gregory the 13th or something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, you can look that up. So who have changed Passover to Easter? Well, again, Rome. Woohoo! Woo! All roads leads to Rome, right? Who changed Sabbath, so-called, fought to change, fought to change the Sabbath to Sunday, the venerated day of the sun god, Sol Invictus. Oh, there we go. All roads leads to Rome once again, right? Yeah. It's all, all these pagan traditions and all this, traditions of man, or actually traditions of the devil. Well, it's just all, it's just Rome, Rome, Rome your boat. Gently down the bloody steam of blood, that's, any case. So, I just, every single head is pretty much, I think, in regards to, kingdom, and then you go off, and I don't know, that much in regards to Roman history, but, they had different government types, and the kingdom was the first one as far as I know of in regards to the Roman Empire. And the woman is already there. We already have the Pontifex Maximus, high priest, the bridge builder, well, we shouldn't let him build a bridge in regards to the Protestants because, it's just, we shouldn't fall down to the satanic deceptions of Satan. So anyway, so if you move forward and you have the 6 and then a 7 is coming, it just seems kind of strange, I think. And then the last, we have the clay and the iron and the clay, and then Jesus coming back and bangs, it says, on the statue and just smashes, right? And that's still future. So, yeah. So I think it's more reasonable that in regards of government types or types of control, in some sense, you have a kingdom, you have, I can't remember what these are all called, but the number 7, you have someone coming after number 7, and he's just there for a little time, and then we have the 8 coming forward, who is the beast himself, which is one of the 7, yet, and I think that would be probably number 6, yeah. He's number 6, I think. Of these 7 heads. No, I might be wrong and all that. Trying the best that I can, and I'm not that familiar. It's a while that I, But if you have the heads, being like an Egyptian, and then you have, the Babylonian or the Assyrian and the Babylonian, and then the Medo-Persians and whatever. You count these different heads and all that. It doesn't really, because a beast usually is of some kind, you have the, let me see if I can remember. You have the Babylonian beast. Oh, why is my memory so bad? It's just, we have the Babylonian beast, right? You see, what's that? That's the lion. Yeah, that's the lion. Oh, I really need to reread and refresh my memory. And then you have the bear. That's Medo-Persia. And then you have the leopard, that's in regards to Greece, with 4 heads, because there's 4 kingdoms, and these 4 kingdoms are what? Well, they are still Greek in nature. And then, of course, we have the Roman, beast, which is different from the others, other 3. And I think, I'm not sure in regards of history, but I would think that the others was probably mostly kingdoms, and yet Rome is like different. Like it has different, systems. A kingdom, a republic, and I can't remember all these names. But if you read Roman history, you can see that they have different ways of. So it has different systems overall. And that's the 4th beast, and the 4th beast continues until Jesus returns. And cast this beast into the, the lake of fire. So that would be in regards to the Antichrist. So the Roman Antichrist. So I don't know. Anyway, that's at least, I think we can be pretty sure who the Antichrist is anyway. I think we have historical, we have endless of historical information. Of course, it had been hidden away, but if you begin to dig it in it, you find out that we have so many books about these things. So yeah, and the woman, the woman rides all the 7 heads. How are you going to have the woman ride on every single head of these 7 if it's all these different kingdoms? Because Rome, the city that rules over the kings of the earth, right? Who is ruling over the kings of the earth in this world? Well, it's Rome. The kings are going to Rome, or, bowing down before the Pope and so forth. Anyway, and find endless of information on that and images and so forward. The European Union, so-called presidents or whatever, the kings of the earth. And you have the US presidents, the kings, and the prime minister of Denmark, the king. Well, that's the past and all that. But anyway, you have all these guys, and you also have the Israelites, the Jews, where they call him His Holiness, and you have the same with the. Anyway, just you get the. I think maybe you don't. I don't know. Any case, so. So if you have like Egypt and Assyria, I'm not sure, I can't remember how they actually put it in regards. Or maybe I should ask them again, the SDA, or look it up or something like that at some point, just see what they, but I don't think it fits. If you're using the Bible to interpret the Bible, then this beast has to be of the same nature. And this nature is just showing us in regards of pointing us to the Antichrist, showing us in regards of these different government types, in regards to the Roman beast, and that the 8 will be one of these 7 types. One of these 7 types will be the 8. And he will be the beast himself, the man of the number 666, which is the office of the papacy, the toilet seat that Satan has given this, what is it? What can we call it? Puppet, whatever. This title, this role, whatever. Anyway. And he, this little horn has persecuted the saints. And who is the saints? Those that keep God and protect the commandments of Jehovah and the testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach, or Jesus Christ. That's pretty much what has been going on in history as well. Yeah. And of course, in regards of the beast, we also see that it has some Greek in it. It has some Persian, I think, is in it. It has different of these kinds of beast. And of course, we have Latin as well, because it's Roman, right? We got pretty much. But yeah, we see, the Grecian. We have some Grecian in it. We have some, Persian in it, and we have some. Is it Babylonian? We also have in it. I can't remember. But anyway, you have these things in it, and it's pretty much what it is, isn't it? In regards of the beast. The man of the number 666, the triune tyrant. Yeah. Anyway, read your Bible. The book of Daniel and the book of Revelation are those 2 books that are very important if you want to unlock things. And you might not understand that much in the beginning, but you will grow in understanding, and things will tick into place a little by little. And it's, these kind of books, you can reread them and reread them and reread them, just wonderful. And I apparently need to reread them because maybe my brain is just broke at the moment. Maybe we'll get better, and, I don't know. But of course, it's always nice to read them, and yeah. So you get the foundation of what God is showing us. And it's still pretty incredible that we have a book that is written 900 years ago, 1900 years ago. And the book of Daniel is even further back in time, and yet describes world history. I think that's pretty incredible. I think it's actually pretty amazing. So, yeah, maybe it was because they had, help from, in regards of, he who knows the beginning from the end, huh? Could it be? Anyway, have a good one, all of you. I'm just thinking, still thinking, I guess. I'm always thinking. I need to take a break. Any case, I tend to say that I never do it. Oh, anyway, yeah, it's pointing us to the pinnacle of these things. You have the horn of the book of Daniel, the little horn that chops up three horns and comes forward, persecuting the saints, thinking to change times and laws and all that. Fits perfectly with Rome, and then of course we have the whore, which is a city that rules over the kings of the earth. Well, that seems to be fitting pretty much in regards of Rome, who is actually ruling at the time of John. Well, that would be Roman, right? The only way I can see that you would have these heads being different empires, it would necessarily then not be Rome, that is that great city, that great harlot, and so forward. Then you would, need to point to Jerusalem. That would only be that, and I don't think that is I don't think that's a valid option. And I'm not even sure that many of these, that all of these kingdoms even ruled over Jerusalem, because that would be the necessity of actually, if the whole is sitting on all these seven heads, well, then these kingdoms in the past had to rule over Jerusalem as well, and at some point of time, and that doesn't really fit, I think. And if you look at I think it's the Assyrians. I don't remember if they ever conquer. No. The Assyrians never conquered Jerusalem. So if you use the Assyrians to put in regards of these heads, well, that doesn't fit, because the whore and harlot has to sit on all seven heads, and she's not sitting on. If you can't use the Assyrians if they'd never conquered, because there was this angel, this messenger that pretty much wiped out the whole army of the Assyrians, or a huge amount of it, because they thought that this king thought that he could, he had a pride problem, and he apparently didn't know in regards of the true living God and so forward. So he made a proud statement which pretty much didn't work out very good for him. So you see this whole Assyrian kingdom going down to Egypt and all that. And there's just a little point, in the where Judah is, because someone couldn't conquer that place. So again, you wouldn't be able to then use the Assyrians, at least. Then you have to question, where did the other conquer? Well, Rome did conquer Jerusalem at some point, right? The Grecians also did at some point conquer Jerusalem. The Egyptians, I'm not so sure if they actually, of course they were probably before the Israelites. Again, I don't think it doesn't seem to fit. You have the Babylonians, the Grecians, but Jerusalem has pretty much been off for nearly 900 years or something like that, which haven't really been a power in the world as such. Israel has pretty much been laid waste. And who has been running around persecuting the saints? Is it Jerusalem or maybe Rome? Yeah, I think history pretty much proved the point that we're talking about Rome, and all the Protestants had that understanding as well, because that was what they were protesting against. They were protesting against the whore and the beast, which is in regards to the man of the number 666. the head of the Roman Catholic Church. And who is the head of the Roman Catholic Church who thinks who thinks he has the authority to apparently change laws that God had put in place, Well, the Antichrist. Anyway, the Pope. So I just don't really think I'm probably going to run into it at some point when if I'm going to see some SDA thing or something like that. Who knows? Walter White have these 40 hours or something like that, and his colleague also had a huge amount. And if one wants to see some of the information that is in these videos, I'll probably run into it at some point while they are promoting this. I don't know. Anyway, I just don't. If you're going by the Bible, it's just And in regards to the 7 mountains, I don't think the 7 mountains are actually physical mountains, but in regards of prophetic, a mountain is a kingdom, it's so, you have a head as well, and kings, and a king can represent more than one king. And anyway, that's all these things, and I did a lot of research for, I guess a year ago or something like that. I had some actually pretty good information on Facebook where I really digged into the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation and wrote it down on, you tend to lose things again. It's very annoying, actually. You research something and then you just lose the information. It's just insanely annoying, But anyway, trying the best that I can, anyway. That's pretty much it. Anyway, the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation, if you don't... Of course, if you haven't started reading the Bible, I would suggest Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and begin with that. That's a good start. That's to find out who Jesus Christ is, because the devil tries to, he's putting a lot of these false versions of Jesus Christ out there. So knowing who Jesus Christ is a very, very, very good beginning. And thereby Matthew, Mark, Lucas, and John is these 4 testimonies in regards of the good news and who Jesus Christ actually was, and is to come, But anyway, because there's actually only 2 honest options to choose from, and sadly a lot of people out there don't want those 2 honest options to either reject him as a lunacy or a crazy man and so forward, or actually he was who he said he was. I think that's the only 2 options. All the rest, when you make up your own version of Jesus Christ, that's dishonest. That is dishonest, and a huge amount of versions is out there. Now the two most popular versions out there is the cookie Jesus, which is in regards to the Roman Catholics. The Roman Catholics actually believe that this cookie, this round cookie, becomes the literal body, blood, sinew, soul of Jesus Christ. And they are apparently allowed to worship this cookie. Because, the cookie, apparently, by the priest, he makes it into God. Yeah, well, you might believe that, but it's still idolatry. Anyway, it does not become God. In any case, if you look into Roman Catholicism, you will find a lot of sun worship in regards of the solar deity and all that. It's the same with the Christ Mass thing, right? Christ Mass, the Antichrist is shown in television doing his abominations and so forward on the very day in regards of what? Well, Sol Invictus, the sun birth of the unconquerable sun, Sol Invictus again. So that's the same with the Sunday thing. Sunday in regards of the venerated day of Sol Invictus. And having a, title as the high pagan priest in regards of Pontifex Maximus, or just take, by the way, the Antichrist in his front yard have, I'm sorry to say, but I'm not sorry to say it because it's the truth. He has an Egyptian erect, idol penis standing in his front yard. It's just standing there in his front yard. But don't worry, because if you talk to the Roman Catholics, and of course, they have all these twistings and all that. Hey, we put a cross on top of it, so now it's Christianized. Oh, yeah, okay. So if I have a big phallus out in my yard, an idol phallus from Egypt, and I just put a cross on top of it, I have Christianized it. Oh, that's how it works. Oh, yeah. Just ask the Antichrist in Rome, no problem. Yeah, blah, 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 Anyway, it's outrageous, utterly outrageous that anyone can defend these things, but that's what Roman Catholics want to do, apparently. They have all these excuses of this and that, and it's just insane. And they are bowing down before idols, cookies, images, and praying to so-called Mary, thinking she's an everlasting virgin when the Bible says that Joseph knew her after she had Jesus. Yeah, but I guess the Roman Catholic maniac institution knows best, Yeah, who's going to doubt mere man actually giving the position from the devil and so forward, trying to corrupt the scriptures and, getting us into the dark ages once again, or getting us away from the Bible. Give me a break. I'm just tired of these liars. I'm really, really tired of these liars. And it would be nice if they just would go away, but they're just out there everywhere. You find them everywhere. It's getting somewhat tedious. I think maybe I'm not sure if that's the right word. But anyway, they are out there everywhere, and you really have to be careful. And that's why you need to read the Bible. Actually, that's why we have schools to teach the Bible. Oh yeah, we don't do that, don't we? Do we anymore? Well, that is the biggest mistake that we could ever do, remove the Bible from the school system. That's the whole point of going to school, is to learn the Bible so Satan doesn't, deceive you and try to, in the parents of today just cast, the children into Satan's candy store and like, oh, he'll figure it out. Really? You think that? You think that's a good idea? Well, I think it's a very bad idea. And that's pretty much what I feel like what happened to me. And I got a trip in the occult and having contact with devils, which of course I didn't knew about that. I didn't know it was devils at that point. It's like my higher self or whatever, or this, whatever. Anyway, that's another. But I found out that there's more than meets the eye in this, So anyway, so just take care, find out who Jesus Christ. We had the cookie Jesus, right? So we forgot the other Jesus version that is very popular. Now there's a lot of other versions of Jesus, false versions of Jesus. There's a Egyptian mystic version of Jesus. There's the Guru version from India, the Druid version. From England. There is the Ascended Master Jesus. One of many. There is the Jinn version, the Kabbalah version, this enlightened person like Buddha and Muhammad and blah blah blah. Whatever. All these false versions. There's just continues and continues and continues. There's huge amount of these false versions out there. Anyway, the question is, who is Jesus? And that's a very important thing. And when you find out that who he is, don't just think you can just relax, because Satan is out there and he's trying to deceive the whole world. And he's doing a pretty good job at that, by the way. He's pretty much have deceived billions of people just in our days, billions. Anyway. So the other version that is very popular is the only prophet Jesus. Now the only prophet Jesus is the Mohammedan version. You see, Muhammad was a false prophet. Oh, you can't tell that to the Mohammedans because they will be so offended and want to chop off your head, right? well, it wouldn't be very loving not telling you guys, out there that are Mohammedans that actually, you're following a false prophet. Yeah, it will actually be pretty unloving because, what will be your road, You see, Jesus Christ is the salvation of everyone that turns around and looks to him and begins to, be a disciple of Jesus Christ. And by the way, if we're disciples of Jesus Christ and he kept the law to perfection, do you think the goal might be the same for the disciples? Anyway, it's just, so much lawlessness in this world. And anyway, I think it's pretty clear, if we are disciples of Christ, now it's not to say that we are perfect in any way, but we should grow and become more like our master as time goes. Where did I put my glasses? Anyway, so the Mohammedans have this version of that is only a prophet, you see. He's nothing more than a prophet. He's not God's son. He's not God in the flesh or anything like that. He's just a second-grade prophet, and Muhammad is the first. He's the perfect example to follow, not Jesus. Jesus just, Muhammad is just, he's the perfect one. And by the way, the guy had sex with, a 9-year young girl when he was 54 years old. And you tell me, you Mohammedans, you followers of the religion of Muhammad are telling me that this is the perfect example to follow after. Are you totally out of you? Have you lost your marbles? Is there anything up here, The guy had sex with a 9-year young girl. Just when he was 54 years old. You have to be kidding me. But it's still... Oh, Muhammad is the perfect example to follow. Really? It's just, you're insane. You have lost you're totally nutcase up there. I wouldn't let my children be I wouldn't have any Mohammedan, guarding my child, that's for sure. My little 9-year young girl, absolutely not. Just keep your filthy hands from my children, It's just might not seem very loving, but, thinking that you believe that it's, this role model of you have... had sex with a 9-year young girl when he was 54 years. What is wrong with you? It's utterly outrageous. Anyway. So, no, absolutely not. Well, anyway. So that's the two popular versions, false versions out there of Jesus Christ. So the cookie Jesus of the Catholics, and in regards to Mohammedanism, is the only prophet version of Jesus. So that's the two important, ones in some sense to know a little about, because you have 1.2 billion Roman Catholics and you have 1.8 billion Mohammedans. And so again, the other versions of Jesus are pretty much, there's not that many that actually, compared to the two others, that's... So just find out who Jesus Christ is, and then, Satan can come and tell you, we also believe in Jesus. Oh, really? So, you believe in a cookie. And you believe the cookie becomes the Jesus. Oh, and you believe that you're sacrificing him all over again? Oh. Ah, you didn't say, didn't you? That's the thing. When you talk to Roman Catholics, they might never tell you. Never. So what they say sounds pretty good. And you would never be any wiser in regards of them actually talking about the cookie Jesus. They have in their mind the Eucharist, the cookie, the dry bread, the wafer God that they have. And in regards to the Mohammedans, they will say, we also believe in Jesus. Oh, really? So you believe he's the Son of God? And they will say, no, where no, God hasn't any son and all that. Well, of course, Allah is not Jehovah, so that's... Anyway, so just, the world is gone crazy. No one seems to know anything, and, we haven't been taught the truth. We have a lot of garbage in the television, and, a lot of garbage is promoting, to us. So we don't know what is left and right, and what is good and bad, and what is real and what is not real, and so forward. It's incredible. We have lost so much. So much. And no one seems to care about it, Hey, listen to the crazy man. Well, maybe it's not me that is crazy. Maybe it's all of you, actually. It's very sad. The whole world has totally gone nutcase, It's totally nutcase. We don't know anything. We don't know the past history of the Protestants, who they protested against. Why do you think they were called Protestants? Because they protested. Who did they protest against? Well, they protested against the whore of Rome and the Antichrist. Do anyone know who the Antichrist is today? No, because we don't read the books of Daniel and the book of Revelation, and we pretty much don't care anymore, It's just going downhill, and it's going pretty... Yeah, actually, it's very, at a very, very, very low point, yeah. Oh, anyway. I don't know. It's very sad. In all these historical books, which now the Roman Catholic is just saying, oh, it's just propaganda or anti-Catholic material, or it's just Catholic bashing and so forward. Oh, it's unloving to talk about. Yeah, give me a break. These ecumenical groups that is out there to try to absorb all the, former Protestants. I don't know. Well, what are you going to call them, Protestants, they were called Protestants because they protested the Protestant religion. Actually, the Christians that was Protestant that protested the Roman Catholic filthy religion. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, have a good one. Look for the truth, It will, no one will do it for you, no one will do it for you. And there's so many wolves out there. Now, of course, Muhammad is just a stinking wolf, you can smell him miles away. It shouldn't be very hard for any Christian reading their Bible to... if they dig a little into the Mohammedan religion, to finding out that this is a wolf. Muhammad was a wolf, a clear stinking wolf. He's not even hiding behind any sheep clothing. What did Jesus warn us about wolves in sheep clothing? This guy is not even in sheep clothing, so it's not really a problem to rejecting Muhammad as a someone sent by God. Because he denied the Son of God. And whosoever does not have the Son, neither has the Father. Anyway, so Jesus warned us about wolves in sheep clothing. That's, that's the... Yep. So, read your Bible, grow in the Bible, and be careful of the wolves in sheep clothing. And if you don't study your Bible, you will and begin to research a little. How are you going to discern which is the truth and which is not the truth, and who is trying to deceive you and who is? I'll tell you, these deceivers are very, 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 very slick, and it's really hard because there seems to be deceivers on every single level. So just be aware, just because you learn a lot, that you will always have deceptions, it seems. At least I haven't come to a point where I don't, where I'm not, affected in some way, that I know that there's deceptions out there still that I have to be careful of. You learn and you grow, and again, there's deceivers on every level. Satan will come to you, try to put obstacles before you and so forward. Anyway, I should stop now. May Jehovah bless you, and may Yeshua, may Jehovah bless you, and Yeshua be that most precious pearl, and don't let go of him when you find out who he is. And may the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, be in us all. Amen. Have a good one, all of you. Just a little one here. Oh, well. At least I didn't have anything in regards to the connection.